This evening on ENN Tonight.
Early voting kicks off in North Carolina.
Tim Walz encourages voters to get to the polls.
You can say no to them and yes to Kamala Harris and a unified country. A new way forward.
And how the importance of voter turnout breaks party lines.
Those stories and more.
ENN Tonight starts now. Josh Stein spoke to Alamance County Democrats about increasing public school funding and his plans if elected. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for ENN Tonight. I'm Abigail Hines.
And I'm Abby Gravely.
Josh Stein, Democratic candidate for North Carolina governor, came to Alamance County to discuss several key issues in his campaign. During a visit to the Alamance County Democratic Party headquarters, I spoke with Stein on how his policies will impact the local community. Josh Stein's visit to Alamance County highlighted several key issues especially important to the local community. Alamance Burlington School Systems is seeing a competitive race for their school board, with candidates giving special focus to their current financial struggles. During his visit, Stein discussed his plans for increasing public school funding.
Where our public schools are excellent and our teachers well paid. Any current or retired teachers in the room?
Stein says the increased funding will improve North Carolina's public school rankings on a national level.
We're at the very bottom in this country. We're 42nd in starting teacher pay. We're 48th in per pupil investment. Those numbers are just a disgrace. If we want to recruit and retain the best into our schools, we have to pay them better.
According to Stein, corporate income tax will help fund this increase in pay.
We already have the lowest corporate income tax of any state in the country that has one. And yet the Republican legislature wants to get rid of it altogether. We need to have those resources so that we can give working folks, the people of North Carolina, a tax break so that we can pay our teachers a decent salary.
Attendees at the event encouraged voting in local elections, noting how public school concerns are mainly addressed at the county level.
I know other counties, they work things out more by district or whatnot, but in Alamance County, everything's at large. So county commissioner, school board, those are huge races. And what I like to tell folks is the local races are what really determine the policy that affects you every day.
Abigail Hines, ENN Tonight. The race for governor leading up to the election. For more of our coverage on Stein's visit, go to elonnewsnetwork.com.
Though Election Day is still 15 days away, voters in Alamance County have already started to cast their ballots.
As you can see here behind me, Elon South Gym is set up for early voting. Early voting in North Carolina started on October 17th and will be going through November 2nd. This polling location also allows for one-stop voting, meaning that voters can register and cast their ballot all in one trip.
Alamance County Democratic Party poll greeter Patty Temples says that she has never seen as high of a turnout as the first day and a half at South Gym, which saw over 2,000 ballots cast.
When we got here, it was like a one hour wait, and now it's gone up to an hour and a half. But yesterday it was 2 hours, so it was madhouse.
Temples feels the perceived stakes of this year's election are encouraging voter turnout.
I think people understand the gravity of the situation, and they're willing to do whatever part they can do to save our democracy.
Brianna Benesh cast her ballot as soon as early voting opened, marking only her second presidential vote.
I saw where Georgia's first day of early voting broke records, and I was like, I want to be part of that, you know.
Benesh decided to vote early so that resources could be spared for undecided voters. Abby Gravely, ENN Tonight.
With the start of early voting comes the final chance to influence voter decisions. ENN's Fiona McAllister has the story on two advocates who are using their last chance to persuade others at the polls.
I am here to promote the GOP candidates, hand out brochures.
I feel that we need to get people to vote Democratic.
On the first day of early voting, advocates for both the Democratic and Republican parties didn't waste any time trying to gain last-minute votes.
The earlier the better, because we can get the votes counted quicker hopefully, this way they can't, the Republicans can't figure out another way to try and steal the elections.
The other side claims democracy is at stake, and I believe it is if we don't elect Republicans.
Though they disagree on candidates, both Parisi and Holt find a common ground on the importance of voting.
Last election, it's just as important as always. If we don't vote, you just don't have a say in our country.
You guys got to vote for your jobs. You got to vote for your jobs, for your livelihood, for your rights.
Standing side by side, handing out flyers, there was an unspoken agreement of civility. Fiona McAllister, ENN Tonight.
As the swing state of North Carolina is on the verge of either being red or blue, both Parisi and Holt have high hopes for their party to win.
Just 45 minutes from Elon's campus, a vice presidential candidate paid North Carolina Democrats a visit. Our Fiona McAllister also looked into how these attendees were feeling.
The first day of early voting called for a special visit from
Tim Walz.
Tim Walz.
Democratic vice presidential pick Governor Tim Walz's visit to Durham meant hyping people up to cast their ballot and cast it blue.
Stakes in this election are so high, and you know it. Some of you hear this from folks in your life. We made it through the first term of Trump. We could probably make it through another.
Alongside Walz was former President Bill Clinton.
So go out there and win this, because the country needs you.
Walz and Clinton aren't the only ones encouraging people to vote.
Now, if you don't vote, you're satisfied with the status quo. You're just satisfied. But go out and register and vote.
Fiona McAllister, ENN Tonight.
Republican presidential nominee and former President Donald Trump visited Greenville, Concord, and Asheville, North Carolina earlier today. Trump visited Asheville to see the devastation of Hurricane Helene firsthand. During his visit, Trump said he is in favor of giving more federal aid to Helene victims. Trump also claimed FEMA mismanaged funds with its storm response. He will be in Greensboro tomorrow to hold another campaign rally in the First Horizon Coliseum. Doors open at 3 p.m. and Trump will speak at 7 p.m. Check out our website for continuous coverage from the campaign trail.
I'm here live in Chapel Hill just minutes before two political activists are taking the stage.
And up next, we'll discuss the impact of misinformation on elections with PolitiFact reporter Maria Ramirez Uribe.
You can take Link Transit to Burlington, Graham, Mebane, Gibsonville, or within Elon. Elon University students and staff can ride Link Transit for free after showing an Elon ID. Blue Route 3 comes by every 90 minutes Monday through Friday with certain hours on Saturdays. And for more information on Link Transit, please call 336-222-5465 or visit the Link Transit website.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
There's only one thing that will save somebody's life, and that is naloxone nasal spray. Get 911 on the phone, get the emergency responses there on their way.
Once Upon a Time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Saturdays and Sundays, October 5th through November 24th. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, jousting, nights, the living mermaids, and a feast all rolled into a non-stop outdoor family adventure. Tickets limited while supplies last. Online only at renfestinfo.com.
Hate is loud, but love is the majority.
Republican activists Charlie Kirk and Vivek Ramaswamy are currently touring around the U.S. on their You're Being Brainwashed tour, with their current stop at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. ENN's Fiona McAllister is live from Chapel Hill right now as doors are opening. Tell us, what's it looking like out there?
Thanks, Abigail and Abby. I'm here in Chapel Hill, and right behind me, students are lining up and filing in to watch Charlie Kirk and Vivek Ramaswamy, two Republican activists, take the stage and answer students from questions from students. They're currently on Kirk's You're Being Brainwashed tour with his organization, Your Turning Point USA. Students are lining up, just itching to speak with Kirk and Ramaswamy. Kirk is a well-known conservative activist with a huge social media presence. And Vivek Ramaswamy is an American entrepreneur. In 2023, he declared his candidacy for the Republican presidential party. And some students say they're excited for these two to share what they have to say.
I love their passion. Everywhere I see them talking to people, they're always so passionate. And they're able to just have discourse with people, because, you know, like Charlie always says, when civilizations stop talking is when violence happens, and I think they do a great job of talking to people.
I'm excited to see how this is turning out, especially as so many people are already filing right behind me. That's all I have. Now back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Fiona.
As this year's election season ramps up, students gathered to learn about tracking money in politics. Our Alice Morrissey has the story.
Open Secrets is a database website focused on tracking donations given to political parties and campaigns. The executive director, Hillary Brosseth, opened up to Elon students about her work and the role of funding in political campaigns.
Our mission is to track the flow of money in the American political system. And the way we do that is that we pull in a lot of different data sets and make those data sets available on our website for policymakers, journalists, storytellers, and the general public to be able to access and connect the dots on how and why decisions might be getting made in government.
Brosseth spoke with students about topics ranging from donation demographics to the importance of transparency and democracy.
Our work is in our most critical moments right now, leading up to the presidential election.
Open Secrets encourages students to have informed opinions through understanding where political funds go, especially as they head to the polls this November.
Go to our website, discover the data. So much happens in politics and money's role in politics.
Alice Morrissey, ENN Tonight.
Joining me this evening to discuss the election and misinformation is Elon alum and PolitiFact reporter Maria Ramirez Uribe. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So as a professional fact checker, what kinds of trends and patterns are you seeing in this year's election?
Yes, I think with misinformation, generally we often see kind of two types of misinformation. You see the ones that are completely made up, there's no basis of fact, and then there's the misinformation that comes from somewhere. I'm an immigration reporter specifically, and that's what I focus on with fact checking. And so we see a lot of data mischaracterization. So people will take a number that exists either given by the government or some sort of real statistic and figure, and they'll twist it and turn it and mischaracterize it to the point where it's now completely false, but it came from somewhere.
And what do you think the motivation behind that misinformation is?
You know, usually we say with misinformation, you're trying to evoke a response and kind of change the perception that people have of reality. And so there's misinformation, which is when people are unknowingly spreading false or misleading information. And then there's disinformation when people know what they're spreading is wrong, is false, and they're kind of doing it with a malicious intent. And in that case, you're really trying to change people's perception.
And looking broadly, what are those big negative impacts you see from misinformation on the election?
You know, I think there's a lot of mistrust in the way our elections work, and I think that was really built out during the 2020 election with a lot of the misinformation around alleged fraud, which did not happen during the 2020 election. And so I think we're starting to see that again. We're starting to see the planting of seeds that this election could also have some sort of unreal fraud. And I think anytime you're casting that level of doubt on a country's institutions, you're putting democracy at risk.
And for people who are unfamiliar with PolitiFact or have not used it, what are some tips you would give them in using that resource when it comes to finding information on candidates or just the election in general?
Yeah, I think generally anytime you're scrolling on social media, you're listening to a candidate speak and they say something that makes you question whether or not it's real, or maybe it sounds really exciting or really frightening, it evokes that kind of big reaction in you. You should probably stop and Google it and research it. You can go to our site specifically and kind of find that real information. But I think it's just important to sort of take a second, really think through and research the facts, and then learn about the topic before you reshare it or tell somebody else about it.
Absolutely. And thank you again for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
If you would like to hear more from Maria, she will be speaking about her work at PolitiFact as part of Elon Alumni Voices Speaker Series.
Up next, an injured football player's journey back to the field.
And a new restaurant opens its doors.
You can take Link Transit to Burlington, Graham, Mebane, Gibsonville, or within Elon. Elon University students and staff can ride Link Transit for free after showing an Elon ID. Blue Route 3 comes by every 90 minutes Monday through Friday with certain hours on Saturdays. And for more information on Link Transit, please call 336-222-5465 or visit the Link Transit website.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
There's only one thing that will save somebody's life, and that is naloxone nasal spray. Get 911 on the phone, get the emergency responses there on their way.
Once Upon a Time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Saturdays and Sundays, October 5th through November 24th. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, jousting, nights, the living mermaids, and a feast all rolled into a non-stop outdoor family adventure. Tickets limited while supplies last. Online only at renfestinfo.com.
Hate is loud, but love is the majority.
Welcome back. The sunshine is sticking around, but now it's time to turn up the heat. Finally, some warmth to go with those sunny skies. Tonight we will see clear skies with calm winds. By 11 p.m., temperatures will be 50 with overnight temperatures hitting a low of 43 degrees. Now for your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Tomorrow and Wednesday will be in the high 70s with lots of sun. Thursday and Friday will bring cooler temperatures with a high of 72 and sunny skies. And to start off the weekend, Saturday we'll be back in the upper 70s with more sun. Definitely rays for days this week. As we near the end of October, the trees around Elon are starting to change color. By the beginning of November, we should start to see the leaves change fully to their classic red, yellow, and orange fall colors. Keep your eyes out. That's all I have for you. Now back to you at the desk.
Almost 4,000 college athletes experience a season-ending injury each year. Our sports editor Miles Hayford has more on how injury affected one Elon football player.
Like getting the surgery and knowing what was in front of me because I'd done it before, and then knowing that I was about to go through it again, it was kind of it was tough for sure to kind of envision myself doing it at the time.
After tearing his ACL in his freshman year, redshirt junior Luke Duska found himself having another knee surgery in late 2023 after his teammate ran to the back of his leg, tearing his ACL yet again. Duska says that it was extremely disappointing to have to go through rehab again. Duska says that after the surgery there was no mobility in his knee and he felt helpless. He says regaining mobility in his knee was a key step in the recovery process.
Once you get that, it kind of opens up a bit. You can start strength training and doing more stuff. Once you get to around the 3-month mark is when you can start running again. And pretty much from then on, it's not as much of you're trying to get your mobility and range back as you're just trying to strengthen the knee and get it ready to return.
Duska's time on the sideline was isolating at times, saying that it made him feel disconnected from the team.
I mean, obviously it's tough when you're not practicing every day. You're just naturally going to feel a little isolated from what everyone else is doing because everyone else is kind of on the same routine and doing the same things every day. And you're still around the team, but you're kind of off to the side doing your own specific thing every day, going through your rehab.
The recovery process took 12 months, but Duska says he won't fully be healed for another 2 years. Duska has returned to football, though, and has played in every single game this season. Miles Hayford, ENN Tonight.
To learn more about Duska's story and the recovery process of other Elon student athletes, check out this week's Pendulum.
With fall and flu season right around the corner, RecWell is partnering with Triad Care to provide students with a free vaccine clinic on campus. This week, we held Tuesday and Thursday in the Alumni Gym from 8:30 a.m. through 4:30 p.m., where both COVID and flu vaccines will be available. If you're interested in reserving a spot, visit the RecWell website to find the available time slots and sign-up form. Remember to bring a valid insurance card when visiting the clinic. A new restaurant opened its doors to the Elon community. ENN's Angelina Fantaroni has more on what the Rosemary at Elon has to offer.
The Rosemary at Elon is officially open for business.
We're excited. We're ready to have everyone in.
Customers say they are happy to have a more upscale restaurant in the area.
This is definitely a lot more upscale than a lot of the places around here that we're used to.
It's more upscale, and I think people need to have something that they can actually look forward to going to visit.
Some employees may look familiar because they are Elon students.
I was really struggling finding a job for the first part of the semester, and I walked home one day, saw the sign on the door, and applied, and it's been great ever since.
And she says she's excited to have a new restaurant on campus, especially when her family comes to visit.
I know, like, every time my parents come down for Parents Weekend, it's actually a mess trying to eat anywhere, so I think it's great to have another place to, come together.
The Rosemary at Elon offers many different food items during breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Angelina Fantaroni, ENN Tonight.
The Rosemary at Elon will host an Elon Student Appreciation Night tomorrow and Thursday with free chicken and brisket tacos and bar drink specials. Visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, for details.
After the break, how a campus collaboration brings science to the stage.
Take Link Transit to Burlington, Graham, Mebane, Gibsonville, or within Elon. Elon University students and staff can ride Link Transit for free after showing an Elon ID. Blue Route 3 comes by every 90 minutes Monday through Friday with certain hours on Saturdays. And for more information on Link Transit, please call 336-222-5465 or visit the Link Transit website.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce. We all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
There's only one thing that will save somebody's life, and that is naloxone nasal spray. Get 911 on the phone, get the emergency responses there on their way.
Once Upon a Time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Saturdays and Sundays, October 5th through November 24th. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, jousting, nights, the living mermaids, and a feast all rolled into a non-stop outdoor family adventure. Tickets limited while supplies last. Online only at renfestinfo.com.
Hate is loud, but love is the majority.
As Elon's production of Legally Blonde prepares for its opening night this Friday, Elon engineering students are putting the final touches on the robotic dogs that will bring the musical's beloved canine characters to life.
This is kind of magical.
When old college friends Courtney Liu and Blake Hammond met again during new professor orientation 2 years ago, they talked about doing a STEAM project together. Now, they're 4 days out from two robotic dogs making their debut appearance during the fall main stage musical Legally Blonde that Liu is directing. Senior Emily Stober, who plays Elle Woods, said a production using robots instead of live animals or puppets was an uncommon and exciting element for the actors to adapt to.
That I was just blown away, because I obviously, like so many other people, I had so many questions about what these dogs were gonna be, but like seeing it move for the first time, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a lot of fun.
It's better than I expected.
After months of work, senior engineering major Zoe Sherpier said the tiny aesthetic touches are the last part of preparing the dogs for the stage, including airbrushing the fur for texture variety and shaving at the legs. Sherpier built shells of artificial fur and dog features to make the robots' outsides as realistic as possible, without falling into the uncanny valley, when people are repulsed by what resembles a living thing but is slightly unrealistic.
Their reactions have been so much better than I was expecting. They're all like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. It warms my heart when other people can appreciate how adorable our little robots are.
Hammond said because Elon's engineering department is only 2 years old, it has more flexibility to take on creative projects such as this one.
Other engineering programs would be more set in their ways, and they'd be less open to, a new professor like myself just charting a path through an unknown territory like this, and kind of taking a risk too.
Stober said she expects to see performing arts collaborations with more departments in the future. Catherine McDonald, ENN Tonight.
Legally Blonde the musical is set to hit the stage this Friday at McCrary Theater. The show will run from October 25th to 27th and October 31st to November 2nd. Tickets are $15 or free with an Elon ID and are on sale now at elontickets.com. Well, that's all the news we have for you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Head over to our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, for stories, sports, and more.
We now leave you with how a local organization is giving back with a spooky attraction.
For the past 50 years, the forest of Hawfield Civitan in Mebane has transformed into a haunted forest, all to raise money for local causes.
So we help a bunch of different organizations like the Boys and Girls Home. We help, we have special friends dances for special needs and stuff. We have a ton of different areas that we support.